Be Hero presents Sheroes.
Hello, Alicia here,
And Amy.
and we are asking the so-called heroes to step aside for a moment so that we can give the Sheroes their turn in the spotlight.
Yes, you heard right. Welcome to Sheroes, a podcast by Be Hero Media.
So just sit back, Netflix and chill. It's time for the real game changers to show you how it's done. Welcome to our Nothing But Net episode.
In case you thought we were talking about a basketball Shero, sorry
Not sorry.
to disappoint. But we hope you will enjoy our equally special episode about the one, the only, Netossa from the show She-Ra.
She's from the Netflix version and the original She-Ra show. In the original show, she has a cape that becomes a capture net that she uses to take down the Horde. She was known for her skill and precision. She made it her life mission to free Etheria after discovering the Horde's oppression. In this way, she is very similar to the current portrayal of her character, who was part of the original Princess Alliance and the current Princess Alliance.
Is there any way we can say she Netossed us with her presence?
I don't think so.
Too bad. What with the original She-Ra being such a pun powerhouse, I had to try.
All right, so who is she?
Netossa is one of several princesses of power in the show She-Ra. We love this show and the characters, and you can expect we'll be talking about several of the other characters in some future episodes.
She is a princess of color, and she is married to Spinnerella, her wife.
She's often overlooked on this show, and I would even argue that she was forgotten in the middle seasons, but she really shines in the final season.
I think you mean she, boom, nets in the final season.
That's exactly what I mean. So tell me, Alicia, where is she from?
Well, the show never addresses where she is from. We only know that she is from Etheria, and she likes hanging out in Bright Moon. It also never says that she is or isn't a princess.
Personally, I think she is a princess because in the final episode of season 1, after they defeat the Horde at the Battle of Bright Moon, all of the princesses are glowing in different colors, but the non-princesses don't glow at all, and she was lit up. So, I mean, maybe that wasn't actually princesses. Maybe it was just showing all the powered people lit up, but I felt like that was representing that she was a princess.
Well, if you look at the She-Ra wiki, it doesn't say that, but I think I agree. I think she's a princess, too.
Yeah. So, Alicia, do you want to start us out with some of the reasons we like her?
Yeah, so there are a lot of reasons to like her. One thing that I like is her loyalty. To give a little background about Etheria, the Horde has been trying to take over the world for generations. The princesses that are the main characters in the show, and they're the children of the original Princess Alliance. When Glimmer, the Princess of Bright Moon, tried to form the Princess Alliance, only 2 princesses joined her. One was Spinnerella, and the other was Netossa. Even though she was often forgotten and many people didn't even know what she did, she never left the Princess Alliance. She always believed they were stronger together and that it was the right thing to fight against the Horde. Wait a second, you took out my line. She was part of the original Princess Alliance.
Okay, but how are we defining the original Princess Alliance? Because, I mean, there's no way that she was part of, like, her Glimmer's mom's Princess Alliance.
She totally was. I found that on the wiki, and I'm pretty sure I looked at the episode that said it on the show.
Okay, well, I might have to go look back on that.
She and her wife are way older than those other toddler princesses.
Okay, you might be right. I guess feel free to pipe in about your opinion about this as well. We'd love to hear your opinion. Well, back to what we were saying, though, I think she's a great Shero to look to because not everyone is going to appreciate the hard work that you put in, kind of like how she and Spinnerella were really both forgotten for 3 seasons, and the princesses didn't really appreciate her, but she still fought for them, and in the final season, I would say that without her, they couldn't have defeated the Horde. And I think that's kind of like how it is for us too. Sometimes, just we're not going to be appreciated for a long time, but eventually it's going to pay off, and those important moments will be appreciated. One thing that I also really liked about her is that she's a winner. There's an episode when she and her wife are playing ice ball with another princess, Frosta, and so Spinnerella kind of like helps Frosta, who's on the other team, just with her like magic wind power. She basically cheats and helps her, right? And Netossa just reacts with, "What are you doing?" She loves winning, and I can totally relate to that because I also love winning.
Later we find out, in what is possibly her greatest episode and one of my favorites to watch, that she has studied each of the princesses and discovered their weaknesses.
As Bo put it, creepy!
She takes the time to tell each of them, and Catra, exactly what their weaknesses are, and she explains in most cases how she's going to take them down if it becomes necessary. She has also studied the enemy and knows some of their weaknesses as well. This is rather reminiscent of a certain caped crusader we know from the DC universe.
Batman?
The episode is pretty funny, but I can't help thinking the only reason why she would feel the need to know their weaknesses is if she thought that there would come a time that the princesses went against the people of Etheria and she needed to be prepared.
Which it turns out she was correct. She is devastated that in one of the episodes, her wife has been chipped by the Horde. The chips are used to mind control you and even really suppress the parts of you that make you who you are. And her love and competitive spirit drive her to take down her wife so that the chip can be safely removed. And in a touching scene in her battle with her wife, you hear her say, "Don't you see? You're my weakness."
Aww.
Okay, but I just have to say, even though it's like a touching scene, come on. No. She has real weaknesses for everybody else, and her weakness is, "Oh, my love is my weakness."
Well, I mean, She-Ra's was hair envy. Sorry, not She-Ra's. It was, what is her civilian name?
Edora.
Edora. Hers is severe hair envy of She-Ra, so...
Okay. I still think that's kind of a cop-out. I mean, if anything, Spinnerella's actually her strength.
Yeah, that seems reasonable. Moving on. One thing we haven't addressed yet is her powers. She tosses nets. As she says in one of the episodes,
it's in the name.
Net toss
Now, what exactly are her nets?
A bunch of holes tied together with string.
What?
Well, you tell me.
I don't know. They kind of make me think of a force field. I'm not sure if they're actually a physical net or more like something she wills into existence. Seeing as how sometimes they're more physical than at other times, maybe it's both.
So, what I just said.
Yeah.
All right, well, they can be used for various purposes. She has used it to create magical shields for herself and her companions, and to capture various Horde people. She can create bombs with it. They look like a ball. In one instance, we see her shift her nets that she has been using to protect herself onto the enemy, temporarily trapping them so that herself and the rest of the currently free resistance Princess Alliance can escape.
We also see her use her nets to send the Horde fire back to them, to return fire, basically. Kind of like a shield.
In another episode, where we discover her true powers of finding weaknesses, we see her use her power, her net's power, to create a string for Bo, who is Glimmer's best friend, possibly the most important member of the best friend squad. After she breaks his bow, the string, in a week...
That's a lot of bows to get tied up in.
After she had broken the previous string in a weakness demonstration, she created the string for the bow. Bo's weakness is his bow. Also, clearly my weakness is bow, because I can't seem to say anything on this matter.
Okay. I actually wanted to come back to something that we briefly mentioned earlier, but I just wanted to give a little more detail on it right before we close this out. So earlier I was talking about how after they defeat the Horde in the battle for Bright Moon, how each of the princesses kind of lit up in a different color. Well, I did want to come back to this for a second just because when they, at the start of the battle for Bright Moon, they sent a message to all of the princesses and nobody came except for Netossa and her wife, Spinnerella. And they basically stayed and fought a losing battle until eventually the other princesses decided to show up. But I mean, like, they were willing to sacrifice their lives, and you know, I think that they deserve all the credit they get. But in this case, we're talking about Netossa.
Maybe a little more credit than they get. They're a little forgotten.
Yeah, exactly. 3 seasons, they just forget about them. I mean, what's up with that? But that's okay.
Is it though?
Well, no, it's not. But moving on, we just wanted to finish off by giving you where you can find these people in the media. And by these people, I mean Netossa.
All right, so she can be found in the original She-Ra, Princess of Power, the Netflix show She-Ra and the Princesses of Power, the mini-comics Princess of Power, and the She-Ra graphic novel.
I'm going to have to check out those mini comics and graphic novel. I haven't actually looked at those yet.
All right, well, thank you for watching our episode. Be sure to like, share,
comment, subscribe.
All the usual things that
you're
you
supposed
say
to do
at the end of an episode. And to women and girls the world over, be brave.